Hello, grade 9 students. We'll just have a short discussion on the theorems about parallelograms. So we have here number 1, if a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then its opposite sides are congruent. So we have here parallelogram PQRS. That means the opposite sides, there are two pairs of opposite sides, QR, PS, and QP and RS. So there are two pairs of opposite sides, and these two pairs of opposite sides are congruent. So that means QR is congruent to PS, QP is congruent to RS. Yan. PQ is congruent to RS, SP is congruent to QR. Another theorem, if a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then its opposite angles are congruent. Again, in quadrilateral PQRS, angle Q and angle S are opposite angles. Also, angle P and angle R are opposite angles. So that means these two pairs of opposite angles are congruent. So angle P is congruent to angle R, angle Q is congruent to angle S. Another theorem, if a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then its consecutive angles are supplementary. Supplementary angles are angles whose sum is 180 degrees. So again, in quadrilateral PQRS, what are the pairs of consecutive angles? Angle P and angle Q are consecutive angles. Angle Q and angle R are consecutive angles. Angle R and angle S are consecutive angles. Also, angle S and angle P are consecutive angles. So if they are consecutive angles, they are supplementary. So their sum is 180 degrees. So angle P, measure of angle P plus measure of angle Q is 180 degrees. Measure of angle Q plus measure of angle R is 180 degrees. Measure of angle R is plus measure of angle S 180 degrees. Measure of angle S plus measure of angle P is 180 degrees. Another theorem, if a quadrilateral is parallelogram, then its diagonals bisect each other. So in quadrilateral PQRS, there are two diagonals formed. These are QS, segment QS, and segment PR. And these two diagonals bisect each other. So for example, if these two diagonals intersect at point O, therefore QO is equal to segment OS. Segment PO is congruent to segment PR. Ganun. So in this case, M is the point of intersection between the two diagonals. So QM is equal to SM, PM is equal to RM. Yun. So example 1, using properties of parallelograms. We have here FGHJ is parallelogram. Find the unknown length. Explain your reasoning. A, what's the length of JH? And B, what's the length of JK? Okay, that's very easy. We'll just apply the theorem on parallelogram. Opposite sides are congruent. So if FG is 5, sorry, if FG is 5, what is JH? Also 5, because opposite sides are congruent. Now if GK is 3, what is JK? It's also 3. From the theorem about parallelogram, diagonals bisect each other. So dito na yung solution. So JH is equal to FG. Opposite sides of parallelogram are congruent. JH is 5. Substitute 5 for FG. So therefore, FG is 5. For B naman, JK is equal to GK. Diagonals of parallelogram bisect each other. So JK is 3. Substitute 3 for GK. So GK is also 3. JK, should say. Try yourself. PQRS is a parallelogram. Find the angle measure. Angle R, find the measure of angle R, find the measure of angle Q. That's easy. For angle R is congruent to angle P because opposite angles of parallelogram are congruent. So therefore, angle R is also 70 degrees. 70 degrees din yun. How about angle Q for B? For angle Q, okay. Angle Q and angle P are consecutive angles, so that means they are supplementary. So the sum is 180 degrees. So by substitution, we have here angle Q plus angle P, measure of angle Q plus measure of angle P, 180 degrees. Consecutive angles are supplementary of a parallelogram. Okay, by substitution, measure of angle Q plus 70 degrees equals 180 degrees. Subtract both sides by 70 degrees. 180 minus 70 is 110. Therefore, angle Q is, the measure of angle Q is 110 degrees. Using algebra with parallelograms, PQRS is a parallelogram, find the value of X. Okay, that's easy. Angle S and angle R are consecutive angles, so that means they are supplementary. Their sum is 180 degrees. So, measure of angle S plus measure of angle R is 180 degrees. Consecutive angles of parallelogram are supplementary. So, 3x plus 120 is 180 degrees. Substitute x. Substitute 3x for measure of angle S and 120 for measure of angle R. Then, subtract 120 from each side. So, 180 minus 120 is 60. 3x equals 60, so divide both sides by 320. Divide. Yes, so therefore x is equal to 20. Okay, so this is now the proof. Okay. We're trying to prove here that opposite sorry, AB is equal to CD. We're going to prove that AB equals CD and AD is equal to CB. So ABCD is a parallelogram. We're going to prove that the opposite sides of parallelogram are congruent. So number 1, ABCD is a parallelogram. Given. Number 2, draw the line segment BD. That's a diagonal. Through any 2 points there exists exactly one line. Number 3, AB is parallel to CD and AD is parallel to CB in the feature. So what's the reason? Definition of parallelogram. Number 4, angle ABD is congruent to angle CDB. Angle ADB is congruent to angle CBD. Reason is alternate interior angles theorem. For number 5, DB is equal to DB. You know that. Reflexive property of congruence. Number 6, triangle ADB is congruent to triangle CBD. Okay, what's the reason? As a congruence postulate or angle side angle congruence postulate. Therefore, angle number 7, AB is congruent to CD and AD is congruent to CB. Well, the reason is CPCTC. Congruent parts of congruent triangles are congruent. So that ends our short discussion on the theorems about parallelogram. Goodbye.